Okay, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I cannot see any of you. I can't see my screen. I've had my phone flipped the other way, so I'm just hoping this all works out. And if it doesn't, we lose connection, we lose sound, video. Practice on your own, right? So we already know everything, and all we have to do is just tune into our knowledge in times like this and do what we know. So let's go ahead and just begin. If you are on a mat or floor, some sort of surface, go ahead and get comfortable. So sometimes I don't really like to be in cross-legged, so I like to sit on top of my heels, or maybe like in wide-legged fold. Perhaps you want to come into Shavasana on your back, whatever feels good. And I will give you guys some space for you to just settle in. If the eyes are open, go ahead and just draw your drishti to something out in front of you. And looking at something is very meditative. So staring at that object and really locking your gaze to whatever it is. Almost like it's putting you in a trance. If the eyes are closed, just soften the gaze as you gently close the eyelid. I even like to remove the tongue from the roof of my mouth here, separate the lips slightly. And I just want you to hold space for yourself this evening. I just want you to hold space for where you are. Let's just set aside everything that has been happening lately. And let's tune in to the reality. And the reality is that life is still happening. Life is still going on. Life isn't going to stop. Problems are still going to arise, whatever that may be, whether it's with a friend, a family member, a significant other. Emotions are still going to surface. And yes, now they may be intensified, amplified, but we still have to sit with where we are and we have to feel. I saw something today that I wanted to share with you guys, and it really makes sense, not only because of a time like this, but just in general. And I think now, because of what's going on, this will really resonate because it has to. It has no choice but to resonate with us, and we're all going through something. It says, how do you find self-love? You dig, you isolate, and you ache from your loneliness. You heal, and you accept. So I don't have to dive deep into the meaning behind that. I think we can all place our own self-awareness into what that really means. And I think that we should dedicate tonight's class, or if you're practicing with us tomorrow afternoon, whenever, I think that we should dedicate this class to self-love. And we're really forced to dig down, to heal, to accept, to ache, and to be content, surrender to what is. So thank you guys so much for joining. As always, light and love to all of you, and I'm so grateful that we're able to continue this together. The one thing that I truly look forward to every day is showing up at Yoga Element and being able to see all of you. And it's great because sometimes I can't see all of you due to location, so this is awesome. Let's flow. We're actually just going to make our way right into downward facing dog. So bring some movement into your seat, whether it's through the fingers, the head, the neck, the shoulders. The soles of my feet are a little tight, so I'm going to sit on top of those toes and just kind of hang out before I get into my down dog. You can join me if you'd like. And when you're ready, let's press into the palms, spreading wide through the fingers. And just start to melt the chest toward the thighs, lifting the butt bones up high. Pedaling out through the legs here. So explore what it feels like to be in downward facing dog right here, right now. Not having expectations of what to feel, not expecting certain sensations, but really just navigating through movement. I was practicing today, or trying to, and I was really expecting a type of sensation, a type of feeling that I haven't had in a while. I was really looking for that oh wow moment, and I just wasn't having it. I wasn't retaining it. And I think it was because I was searching for something that wasn't ready to show up for me. So if that's where you're at right now, that's okay. Maybe just find stillness, don't move at all. Let's take a slow breath in. Slow breath out. We're going to really work on the inhale. So ground down through the palms, the fingers, the toes, the balls of the feet. And find stillness in your shape. Inhale slowly through the nostrils, just filling everything up and almost contracting the belly instead of belly breathing. We're going to tap right into that Ujjayi pranayama. And then a long breath out, using the throat, just melting everything into its right place. Close your eyes. Let's lift onto the toes with a big breath in. Bend the knees. You can tiptoe. You can step. Whatever you need to do, we're going to walk to the top of the mat. We're going to hang heavy, coming into a forward fold of your choice for right now. And just shifting the weight all over. So the toes, the heels, the outer edges, whatever you need. Drop the head completely down. If the eyes are open, you can maybe see just in between the legs or up toward the belly button. And then lower the hands down toward the feet. Let's just lengthen the spine, whether you're coming up halfway or just elongating it. Forward fold. I like to bend the knees a lot here. Really root down, push into the feet, and take it all the way up. So this is an energetic reach. Palms squeeze together overhead. Let's take another breath in here. And then exhale, bend the knees as we bow right back down. Palms meet the earth. Pushing into all fours. Let's lengthen as we press. And fold as we release. We're going to do that again. So bend the knees, root down. Inhale, drive it all the way up, using the entire body. Palms squeeze together. Let's take another breath in. Push down, reach up through the fingers. Expand the belly, bow over the legs, and fold as you bend the knees. Drop it down. One more time on the in-breath. Lengthen to your flat back of choice. Exhale, fold. And then take it up. Inhale always brings you up. Exhale as we just close the space. Lift up flat back. And exhale, let's just press back into that high plank. And know that you can always drop the knees here to keep that slight incline in the body. So crunch the belly muscles together like you're holding a pencil in between the abs. Pressing the ground away, lifting out of the shoulder blades. So you always notice when you're slouching down to the shoulders. You don't want to do that. Lift up out of the shoulders, push the ground away. This is challenging here, so it should feel like the entire body is working as one. Big breath in and out. And let's just shift the weight forward, drawing the shoulders way over the fingertips, and then shift the weight back. Do this a few times front to back. Lower the knees if the wrists just aren't ready to handle the weight of your body. And we can just go back and forth. And then on your next exhale, press into your dog pose, readjusting. Let's move the hips over to the left. Take a nice side body stretch in the right. And then inhale, center, and all the way over to the right. And return the hips back to center. Let's come high on the toes. As you shift onto the toes, press into the fingers, push the ground away. Bend the knees. If you want to, you can attempt to jump or lightly step to the top. Let's lengthen flat back on the in-breath. And exhale, fold. Take it all the way up. Sun A, palms meet overhead. Exhale through the heart, bow down. Let's take a strong focus to our hamstrings on the halfway lift. So inhale with the knees bent, lengthen flat back. Lift the butt bones up with the bent knees. Forward fold. Step into high plank. Grip the mat with the toes. We're going to come into our first chaturanga in just a moment. So firm up the muscles. I like to push the crown of the head forward and drive the shoulders down my back. On the inhale, filling up. And then exhale, lower halfway or drop the knees and take it all the way down. Forehead meets the mat. Squeeze the elbows tight to the ribs. Inhale for a baby cobra lift. And then exhale, bring it down. Tuck the toes under. Push into your downward facing dog. I like to bend my knees here in down dog. Really pay attention to the legs, the hamstrings. Notice how you feel. Practicing self-love, giving yourself exactly what it needs, not so much what it wants, not so much what it desires. Detaching from those temptations, pushing into the palms, lift to the toes. Deep bend in the knees, walk or lightly float, fold forward. Just hang out, pause. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. And then exhale, fold. Let's bend the knees, push down, take it all the way up. If you like, you can come into a back bend. I like to lock the thumbs together, wave the fingertips behind me, push the hips forward, and then fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway. And then exhale, fold, step on the inhale, plank pose. Let's set it up. Finding that strong foundation. Take a full breath in. Let the exhale ride you down. So slow ride down, slow breath out. When you're ready to inhale, upward facing. And when you're ready to exhale, round it back. I always say that down dog is like a really great sigh of relief and release. So you can open up through the mouth, you can shake the head. We're going to do that one more time. If you're hopping forward, be sure to push into the palms. Shoulders do not come toward the elbows, right? So inhale, toes. Deep bend in the knees. Exhale, float to the top. Inhale, lengthen. Be mindful of the hamstrings and fold. Let's take it up one last time. And then instead of folding, bring your hands hard. If there are any distractions in your home, maybe you have children pulling you away, maybe pets, maybe the television, maybe just something in the background. Notice whatever it is. Be accepting of the change that is happening within. Be totally content with the fact that we get to continue our practice, this lifestyle that can happen and take place anywhere. It doesn't have to be at a studio. Be grateful for this moment. Take a slow breath in. Breath out. Release the arms to the tailbone. We're going to interlace the fingers. We're just going to come into a nice little shoulder stretch. So if the shoulders do not allow you to do this, you can grab the forearms You can airplane the arms behind you and look up. Or go ahead and interlace, roll the shoulders away from the chest, take the gaze up. And as you arch the spine, push the knuckles down if you're in the bind. And we're gonna lift the head up, coming into alignment, bend the knees forward, fold with your bind. Kind of like we're nose diving down, and maybe the nose even meets the knees. Keep a bend in the legs, belly to thigh. We're going to lower the arms back toward the tailbone, push into the feet, come up to standing. Release the bind, soften the shoulders. Shake it out. Kind of roll the shoulders forward and backward. Anything else that you need to do? Palms come to heart. Take a full breath in, reach the palms up. Exhale, fold. If you're practicing jumping back, we'll all go ahead and take a halfway lift. Exhale. For those of you jumping back, push your palms down. Shift the weight forward. Keep pressing the ground away. I like to bend the knees and then jump into a low push-up. We'll all meet in upward facing dog. Press back, downward facing dog. We're going to come into just a little stretch here within the body for a thread the needle. From our down dog, we're just going to flex the right leg up. It's not going to go that high. We're going to keep the hips square just for right now. And then dig the fingers, the thumbs, the pointer fingers down and push that right leg away from you. So this is a strong connection, a strong static hold. Notice what surface is for you. Where do you feel tingling and sensation? Maybe it's in the ankle. Go ahead and point the toes, draw some circles. Maybe you feel this in your left hamstring. If that's the case, bend that left leg a little bit, soften the knee, but keep the muscles active and engaged. Now we can start to lift the right leg a little higher. Bend the knee and spin the hip open. Let that right heel fall heavy to the left butt cheek. And if you want, you can keep your chest squared. Sometimes I like to get a little dramatic and take my gaze toward my right bicep. And then on a slow breath out, we're going to crunch the right knee toward the outside of the right arm. So this still assists in the opening of the hip. Try not to drop the knee down under the belly. Keep it lifted alongside the ribs. Inhale, lift it up, bend to open. Exhale, draw the knee back toward the outside of that right arm. Pushing the arms, pushing the palms away, the ground away. Staying square. Inhale, open as you drop back up. And then one more big breath out. Draw it to the outside of that arm. Now we're going to stay here. Take a big breath in. High plank. Breath out. One inhale through the nose. And then exhale, slowly bend the knees. Drop them underneath your hips. Tabletop. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Two more. Last one. Big breath out. Maybe even send the hips toward the heels. And then come back to tabletop. Inhale the right leg the right arm all the way up. And then exhale, thread the needle. So if you like to, you can stake your left leg out toward the left wall and act like you're grabbing your big toe with your right peace fingers. Notice what you need here, notice what you don't. So sometimes people like to take a bind, roll that left shoulder open. Sometimes we can interlace the fingers and just press all 10 knuckles toward the left wall. And wherever you are, slowly prep to exit. Inhale the right arm up. And then exhale, tabletop. So if you want to stake the right leg out, you can go ahead and do so. So the ankle is aligned with the right hip. Wave the left arm high. And then exhale, thread. Dropping onto that left shoulder. I like to use my right hand. And I like to press it into the mat, rolling even heavier onto the shoulder. Only if the body is ready. Stillness in the body, the mind, fluidity within the breath. Nice and slow, staying intentional. Push into the right hand, wave the left arm high. And then exhale, return both knees to the mat. We're just going to tuck the toes under, hover for an elevated tabletop. So back is flat, shoulders are away from the ears, gaze is down or just slightly out in front of us. So can you feel the alignment without needing to look at the body? Can you feel everything tightening up? Can you feel the intention behind the posture? We're going to take one more big breath in. And then exhale, downward facing dog. If you need to walk your feet back a little bit and readjust the pose, go ahead. And when you're ready, flex the left heel up. The toes are going to flex down. And then again, what is happening here? Maybe you need to soften the right knee, bend it. Maybe you need to roll through the ankle, point the toes, bring some movement. And then slowly bend the knee, open up the hip. So the knee is either going to point to the left wall or perhaps up to the ceiling, just allowing the left heel to fall heavy, keeping the right leg nice and straight, keeping it strong. Keep the bend in the left leg and then hug the knee to the left elbow. See if you can lift it up a little higher. Flex the toes to the wall, press the ground away. Inhale, draw back up and over into that opening. Exhale again, slow, intentional crunch, so not fast. It's really easy to move fast through all of this. Inhale, take it back up. And then exhale, really open the hips. We're focusing on that mobility, that circulation within our hip bones. And then bring it up on the inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Let's just pause here. Fill up with breath. Exhale with breath. We're going to walk the hands all the way back toward the toes, pressing the ground away. And let's just go ahead and do whatever you need to with the hands. So maybe you need to massage the wrists, the palms, cracking the knuckles. We're going to find gorilla pose, or if you prefer, a big toe grab. So whatever you would like to do. I'm going to go ahead and take the palms underneath my feet. First, make sure the feet are about hips width distance. And then inhale to a flat back. I keep a bend in the knees here. And then fold, dropping the crown of the head. And over time, perhaps you can straighten the legs. It's certainly not necessary. But I like to even just keep a bend in the knees and lift the butt bones up as I pull the feet toward my arms and drop down. Gently release, bringing the palms to the mat, and then slowly come all the way up to standing. Reach the palms up overhead. And then exhale them to the heart center. Pausing, noticing how you feel, and just checking in. And And we can do this anywhere we go. We can do this through transitional periods. We can do this before entering our homes, getting into our cars, walking into a place. Just checking in with yourself. Self-love. Inhale the hands up overhead. And then bring the palms toward the heart, forward fold. If you're jumping back, push into the palms, lift the hips up over the shoulders, and then just shoot into that low push up. Inhale for up. Exhale for dog. Let's take the right leg high. And then bring the knee toward the nose and pause. Get really high onto your back toes. Suction the thigh toward the belly. Flex the foot toward the thumbs, and then step the foot in between the hands. Inhale brings you up, palms overhead. So finding that crescent lunge. And if you feel a little wobbly, off balance, that's okay. Maybe you need to take your left foot out just a little bit wider. If this does not feel good to the hips, you don't have to have such a wide or long stance, but you do want to make sure that you have a stretch in the hips, right? So purpose, intentional. We don't just want to go through the movements just to say we did them. There has to be intention behind everything that we do. Finding intention, finding joy, finding a purpose. Palms come to meet over the head, bend the elbows, tuck the thumbs toward the neck. If you want, you can lift the gaze, finding a back bend, but we're stretching off the triceps here, so lift the elbows high. And then breathe and extend the arms up overhead, hover into airplane warrior. And just reaching the fingertips to the back of the mat, pulling the shoulders down away from the ears. And then really stomp that front foot down. Feel this in your right glute, your right thigh. And then stay engaged in your left leg. We're going to take a big breath in, and then on the exhale, slowly step to chair. As you lower the hips, inhale the arms up overhead. So this is our first chair pose. See if you can send your weight more so into the heels. And literally like we're sitting down in this imaginary seat. Squeeze the thighs, the knees together. Bring the palms toward the sternum. Take a breath in. Exhale, twist to the right. So really draw that left tricep as much as you can down to the outside of your right thigh. Almost like you're closing the gap between your armpits and your thighs. Keep the knees together. Draw the left hip bone back. Keep the hips lower than the heart. Can you maybe draw your right shoulder forward and down, and then twist even deeper? So instead of rolling the right shoulder away and back, try something new. Inhale, the arms meet overhead. And we're going to slowly lower all the way down into a high boat. Big breath in. You can grab behind the legs. You can tap the toes. Flexing. Reaching. Breathing. Let's take one more full breath in. Exhale, breath out. Now, if you're practicing jumping back, lower the hands near the hips. Lift the legs, find a little momentum, and shoot the legs into that high plank. Chaturanga for us, or go right to down dog. Inhale, lifting that left leg high. And then slowly hug the knee tight toward the chin, rounding the spine, press the ground away. Get really high onto the back toes. Footsteps in between the thumbs. The inhale is what rides you up. So listen to the breath. If you have a really deep lung capacity, you can fill up a lot. Your movements are probably going to be slower than someone else's. Breathe in. Breathe out, squaring the hips. Palms come to touch. Bend the elbows, tuck the thumbs to the neck, and then maybe lift the gaze. But try to lift the elbows, so stretching out the triceps. Big breath in. Exhale, breath out. And then inhale, extend the arms up. Wave them behind you, airplane. So some of us like to spread wide through the fingers. Some of us like to squeeze all 10 fingers together and cup the palms. Maybe try both. And a slow step into chair pose with the legs first. Lower the hips, sweep the arms up, lift the gaze. Just out in front of you, what are you looking at? Find something. Steady the gaze. Not to distract you, but to focus. Hands come to heart, everything is still super active. And then exhale, twist to the left. You're gonna really slide that right tricep down the outside of the left leg. Close the gap between the shoulder and the thigh. And really drive that left hand into the right palm. And see what it feels like to inch the shoulder out and down instead of pulling it back and away. Inhale, chair. Slowly, so I know the thighs are probably getting its work in. Just lower down, even slower. See what happens. Trust the body. Here we are. High boat. Maybe some of you can straighten the legs here. Maybe some of us need to drop the toes. Wherever you are, draw a breath in. Try not to lower down and round the spine. Think of magnets, your thighs and your chest together, but they're opposing, so they don't really ever touch, but they keep coming together. One more breath in. Exhale, lower. Chaturanga, if you're shooting back, palms by the hips. Find a little bit momentum, push down, and shoot back. Inhale to up, and then pressing into your downward facing dog. Together, breath in. Breath out. Right leg on the in. Exhale, step it through. Ride the inhale all the way up overhead. Palms meet, tuck the thumbs, lift the gaze. Inhale the arms up. Airplane. Inhale. Chair pose, slowly step. Big breath in, arms reach overhead. Palms come to sternum. Find that twist to the right. Maybe you twist a little more, maybe you need less. Inhale the hands up. Exhale all the way into that high bow, nice and slow. Breath in. Chaturanga, breath out. You can always skip the high to low. Make your way into downward facing dog. On the inhale, shoot that left leg high and then hug it right back to the belly. Stepping through, crescent lunge. Bend the arms, tuck the thumbs. Maybe you look up this time. Arms reach, airplane, palms press down. Take a breath in through the nose, pressing into the mat. Chair pose. Inhale to sweep. And then exhale, twist to the left. Keeping the knees together, not being so quick to exit the shade. Allowing the body to absorb. Inhale, hands high. All the way down, high boat. We're going to pause here for this round, so squeezing the legs together. If you'd like, go ahead and cup the hamstrings. So from here, I'm just going to tap the toes, all 10 of them down, then lift them up and tap. So you could do this at your own pace. And regardless of people not being around you or not having a community to really thrive off of physically, we're still doing this together regardless as a community. So just stay true to yourself. Allow this to be a part of your self-love right here in this flow. right? So we can always honor when we need to back down, when we feel any real physical pain. Keep breathing for 5, 4, keep the upper body right where it is, 3, 2, and 1. Just go ahead and drop the feet. Cradle the arms around the shins, lower the eyes toward the knees, and just fold in. And slowly lift the gaze, lift the chest. We'll make our way into our chaturanga. And settle up on the out breath. We're going to lower halfway. Inhale up. And exhale, press it back. 3 big rounds, filling up. And letting go. So if you're still with me, take a big breath in through the nose. Make some noise, let it go. Inhale one more time, filling up with breath. Let's go ahead and take the right leg lifted up. Bring the knee to the nose. We're going to pause as we step the foot down, low runner's lunge. Low runner's lunge. So let this be a reset to the hips. Trying not to sink too heavy into the left hip, but just really finding that balance, right? So we're in this low lunge. Firm up the left arm, push the palm down, reach the right arm up overhead, easy twist. Reaching with intention, so it's easy to just let go of the strength that we're holding in that right arm. So pretend that I'm coming around class. I do this quite often. I'm going to move your hand, your arm. Don't allow me to move it. We're going to slowly pivot and step into high plank. So you guys all know your options. What would you like to work on? Maybe a tree pose. Maybe starfish. Maybe just drop the bottom knee. But don't be afraid to explore. And not that any of you are ever afraid to get curious, but if you're used to doing the same thing over and over, please, I invite you to now try something new in the comfort of your own home. To not be so afraid to fall out of where you are, but always be mindful of your body. We have the risk of injury, so we always want to go somewhere where we are physically safe. So wherever you are in your side plank, reach the right arm overhead, and then slowly crunch knee to elbow. I like to try and get the knee and the elbow above the rib cage. Inhale, push it back out. Exhale, crunch again. One more. Inhale, squeeze and reach. Exhale, crunch. Now listen, wild thing. Step the right foot down. Drop the hips a little, and then reach the hips back up. And extend the right fingertips toward the front of the room. Dropping the head. Staying strong in the left arm. Push the ground away. Now look down and slowly tip into that high plane. Very slow, very mindful. Shift the arms. Bring movement into the shoulders. High plane. Big breath in. Downward facing dog. Big breath out. Inhale the left leg as it steps in between the thumbs. Let's reset the body here. So make any movements. If you feel funny, shake it out. This is your practice. It always is. It always has been. Easy twist. Root down through the right palm. Wave the left fingertips up. Lift out of the shoulder. twist through the torso. So where's the power coming from? The strength of the legs, of course. And then the twist is coming from the torso. So use the whole body together. Side plank. Step that left foot back any way that you can. Take your time. If you fumble, if you tremble, if you fall out of balance, that's okay. This is our practice. This isn't an ego trip. We're not here to make anyone happy. We're not here to impress anyone. We're just here to move. Get some of that stagnant energy. Get it going. Reach the left arm overhead. 3 crunches. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale. Exhale, knee to elbow. Hold the crunch. Inhale. Okay, last one, knee to elbow. Hold the crunch, wild thing. So we still push down into our right hand. Lift out of that shoulder. Keep the left leg bent, right leg long. And slowly, gracefully, high plank. Take your time, shake it out. Full breath in. We'll do a chaturanga here if you'd like. Maybe pause and up dog, shake it out. Exhale, child's pose. Bring the knees together. You can rest your forehead on a block. But I like to bring my arms alongside my shins. Let the shoulders cave in. If your head doesn't meet the ground, that's okay. Bring it on top of a block. If you want to take a bind here with the shoulders, if you need anything at all other than a child's pose, honor your space. Give yourself what you need. So right now I'll be walking around the room, spraying you guys with some of our amazing products that we use. Just meditate upon that scent, whatever your favorite one is. Just allowing ourselves to come back home. Our bodies are always home. It doesn't matter where we practice. It doesn't matter who we're practicing with. It's the fact that we are allowed to feel like home anywhere that we go. And we're slowly going to find our way to a tabletop position. When you arrive, point the fingers to the kneecaps, palms face down. Our forearms our wrists are going to be facing the front of the mat. So we're pushing down into the palms, fingers toward the knees, and just shift the hips back toward the calves, stretching out the forearms. Pushing into the fingers, and then inhale, shift forward. You can go side to side here too. It all depends on the joints, the bones, how the muscles are feeling. Any reactivity that you're experiencing, if it's not healthy, you don't have to do anything. Fingers stay, but our palms face up. Palms will face toward the armpits. And again, same thing, I like to make just some very simple micro movements here. This is a very tender spot for myself. You may feel the same. Just be mindful. And then we're going to exit. Let's sit onto the tops of our feet. So we'll sit on our toes, the balls of our feet, and we'll just sit our hips on our heels. And we're just going to shake it out. So we do this often in my class. We're not going to be standing, we're just going to do it from right here. So let's go ahead and reach the arms up overhead. And we're going to bring the backs of our hands together. So click the wrists to each other. Fingers press out to the left and to the right. Palms face the same, left and right. And then on the exhale, lower the hands down out in front of the chest. We're going to pause halfway once the arms are parallel to the sky and the floor. And then we're going to bend the elbows. We're going to tuck the thumbs and the fingers all the way up along the sternum. And then offer the palms out down toward the knees. Palms face the front of the room. We're going to do that again. So start to roll the backs of the hands together. Bend the arms. Thread the fingers down through toward the legs, bringing them back up. It's always so very hard to explain this. So if you guys need to stop and take a look, please feel free. So arms reach up in that initial standing or that initial point. And then lower them halfway, bend the arms, tuck the thumbs up toward the sternum, offer the palms down toward the knees, just reversing. Bend the arms, tuck the fingers toward the elbows, inhale, reach up. And we'll do that one more time. If you're completely confused, just do something that feels good, stretching out the fingers, the arms, the wrists, inhale up. And exhale, lower the hands alongside the shins. Let's go ahead and just reverse the position. So we're gonna press into the tops of the feet and just kind of shake them out. And then we're gonna sit on top of our heels. The toes are gonna point behind us. So just a counter stretch here. Okay, so let's just stretch the side bodies before we get into our final flow. Inhale the arms up overhead. You can grab the right wrist and pull over to the left, but a lot of times it feels better when you drop the left hand down and then reach to the left side with those right fingers. So as I'm reaching to the left, I'm digging into my left hand. I'm even maybe taking my gaze up toward my right elbow. Take a big breath in. Lower the right hand. Inhale the left arm. Drive down. Push the left ribs away from the right. And lower down. Downward facing dog. Allow yourself to settle in. Bring movement into the body, coming into that big sigh of relief. That big sigh of release. Slow breath in. And a slow breath out. Inhale, lift the right leg high. And then exhale, step it right in between the palms. Reach the arms up overhead on the inhale. And then exhale, airplane the warrior. We're going to keep a bend in our front leg. We're going to tip the weight forward, coming on to our big left toe. And then inhale, take off for warrior three, but keep a really deep bend in your right leg for right now. So a little trembling may be happening, that's okay. Push that left leg away from you, and now straighten the right leg, come into a full warrior three. Lifting the left heel, flexing the left toes down, staying square in the hips and the chest. Perhaps a slight upward facing dog. Take a deep bend in that right knee until the left toes are able to tap the mat. And then push back, straighten that leg, lift into that warrior three. One last time. Hug the knee into the belly and come all the way up to standing. Push into the right leg as the left knee hovers. On the inhale, reach up. Hands to heart, exhale. Firm up the muscles. Take the right hand to the outside of the left knee for a little twist to the left wall. Your hands can certainly stay at prayer. Try not to curl the right toes. Allow them to lay flat. Maintain any movement within the body. You don't have to be still, but just control the balance. You can reach the right arm forward. We're going to slowly open that left hip. Warrior two, guide yourself into it. Hip bones are opening, firming up the muscles in the thighs, pressing into the feet, pushing the palms down. Straighten the front leg, reach the arms up overhead. And then exhale, let's find triangle pose. Fingers tip over, they can trickle down the leg. I like to kind of reach the crown of my head forward and kind of draw my ribs up and in, and then reach everything forward. So you're really feeling that stretch on the left side. And then slowly soften the right leg, bring yourself back into warrior two. Interlace the fingers to the low back or just grab the forearms. We're gonna humble the warrior. So press the knuckles down, nose dive to the inside of that knee, and then drop the crown of the head. Your weight is balanced in the front foot as it is in the back foot. Try not to send or commit too much weight forward. Strong legs, reach the fingers up, push into the feet, slowly reverse the warrior. Big breath in. Big breath out. And then we'll just come down, high to low, push up, or downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Left leg lifts, hug the knees, step it through. Full breath in, crescent lunge, squaring the hips. Airplane the warrior. So we have this bend in our left leg, right? We're going to keep this bend. We're going to shift the weight forward so we can come onto the right big toe, and then only lift the right leg. So the left leg is bent, still in control, still strong. Now straighten the left leg. Find that full airplane warrior 3. Notice the differences that you feel on this side. I can feel that my right leg is a little bit stronger than my left leg, so I often struggle here. I have to compensate with a few other body parts in order to make this accessible and comfortable for me. So notice where you are. Try not to force. Take a deep bend in that left leg. Tap the right toes gently, then inhale. Come back into that warrior 3. Bend both knees as you come up to standing. Hug the right knee in. Reach the arms up. Hands through the heart. Find a twist to the right wall. So prayer hands can remain. Or you can take your right arm away from you. And you can grab the outside of your right leg with your left palm. Finding balance. Maybe reach the left arm out in front of you for open arms and take a really big, wide open, slow step into warrior 2. Gently guide down. Settle in. Make your adjustments. Maybe you want to try and take a wider stride. Settle in a little deeper into the hips. Straighten the front leg, reach the arms up, and then lower the hands down as you reach to the front of the room. Triangle. Extend the right fingertips up. And then try to draw your upper body just toward the top of the mat as you trickle the fingertips down. This is an active pose here. Try not to rest. Try not to feel defeated. Bend the front leg, warrior 2 on the inhale. Press the feet down, interlace the fingers, humble the warrior. So for starters, roll the shoulders away from the sternum. Draw the head down to the inside of that left leg. Now take a look at your right foot, push it down. You don't have to sink so far into your hips. You can use the strength of your legs and make any adjustments necessary. This is your practice. How can you practice self-love? Push into the feet. Inhale, reach up, reverse the warrior. And then exhale, windmill the arms down, step into high plank. Lower all the way or halfway down. Breathe into up dog. Breathe into downward facing dog. Let's go ahead and drop the knees. Take a seat at the top of your mat. I'm going to give you guys a few options for a hip opener. So we can come into half frog, which is one of my favorites. So we will come down to the belly if we're coming into half frog. I like to goal post the arms and then draw the right knee out toward the right elbow. So your butt isn't sticking up, your hip isn't way off the mat. You're just sliding that knee so it remains parallel to the hip bone, and then lower the ankle underneath the right knee. So this is half frog. If you want full frog, you can roll your mat up for some extra cushion, or if you have blankets or pillows nearby, you can use that. But for half frog, you're gonna do the same thing, but the knees are gonna widen out at the same time. Hips are across from the knees, ankles are below the knees, and you're just kind of flexing the feet out. So I have very tight hips. I try to opt out of this pose as often as I can. It's just my preference, but if I had the proper props, I'd put a pillow or a blanket underneath my chest, or maybe even a block. So if something doesn't feel good, you don't ever have to come into it. You don't have to stay where you are. You can always honor your practice, honor your body, honor the space that you have been given. Notice what's happening in the mind, the thoughts that are starting to stir up, if any. And sometimes we feel kind of like waking out of a dream when we're done with yoga. Like, oh, it's back to reality. This is your reality. This is your life. This is your lifestyle, your practice, your intention. This is living a wholesome, intentional, authentic life right here. If you're in half frog, slowly switch up the other side. If you find yourself floating around in that dream state, either here or after class, just recognize your reality. We can surrender to this dream state, to what is, this moment, this bliss, this perfect feeling and emotion. This can continue, and it will. Just allowing yourself to show up in the moment. If you're in full frog, you can crawl the hands out and lay all the way onto the belly, bend the knees, shake side to side, windshield wiper the legs. Or you can always just press back into a deep child's pose. Everyone has a preference of their entrance and exit, so be mindful wherever you are and how you're getting there. And then we'll just meet ourselves in a seat facing forward in a wide-legged straddle. This is going to be our last stretch before Shavasana. So if it's not enough, you can always hang out a little longer and do what you need. But the legs are going to be wide. We're going to flex through the toes. And we're going to bend the right knee as the foot comes to that inner left leg. We're going to lower the right hand down behind the hip bone. Take the left arm up and then lift the hips, come onto the right knee. Reach those left fingers toward the back of the right room. A little bit of a back bend. So we're on the right knee, the right shin. We're pressing into the left foot, still extending through the arm. We're going to look at our right fingers. We're going to lower the left hand all the way down toward the right fingers and then sway the arm back inside of that left leg. Inhale, reach up. We're going to do that again. Lower the arm and sweep it all the way to the inside of that inner leg. Last time, breathe in. And exhale, slowly breathe out. Hand meets the inside of your left ankle. Keep the arm here, reach the right arm up toward the sky. And then over toward the left toes. I like to use my left arm into my left leg as some leverage, a little bit of resistance to create a deeper sensation in my right side body. And slowly release all tension. Take the right leg out, shake it, and bend the left foot, left knee, foot in. Left hand down, inhale, reach the right arm, shift the hips up, come on to the left knee, left shin. Reach the right arm behind you. Lower the hips, drop the arm, and sweep that arm to the inner right leg. Inhale, come back up. And then exhale, reach. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Bring the left arm to the inner, or the right arm to the inner right leg. Take the left arm up and reach overhead. So you can make this as intense as you like. You can soften, whatever you need. And then slowly release the arm, lift the head, the gaze, the chest. And we're just gonna hug the knees into the belly as we roll onto the spine. If it feels good, go ahead and do a few rocks lengthwise, coming up to your seat, and then rolling back down. And then find some stillness on the back. Bend the knees and just lower the feet. So the feet are about hips width distance. Just take a breath in. Legs are gonna stay, but we're just gonna drop them over to the right. So it's not quite like a supine twist. You're gonna feel a deeper stretch within that left leg. And then inhale the knees up. Exhale, drop them to the opposite side. So we're keeping the distance in between the feet and the knees, or just dropping. Then we can bring them back up and do it again over to the right. And then when you're ready, over to the left. And then when you're ready, you can hug the knees into the belly. Roll through the ankles. Anything else that you may need right here, right now. And we can start to settle into our final pose of tonight's class. You're more than welcome to take Shavasana in any shape that the body desires. And a shape that can just give you a little bit of bliss, a little bit of enlightenment, some mental clarity, peace of mind, serenity, truth, self-love. Soften the body. Remove the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Keeping your focus directly at your third eye. What shows up for you there? Is it a feeling, a sensation? Is it an image, a color, a shape? Whatever it is, keep your attention right there. Feel free to stay right where you are. No rush. Nowhere else to be. explore some minimal movements to the physical body. How do you find self-love? You dig, you isolate, and you ache from your loneliness. You heal and you accept. Thank you guys so much for choosing to practice self-love this evening or whenever you're doing this video. May you heal, may you accept, and may you surrender to what reality is and the changes that are occurring within your life. As always, thank you so much. Light and love to you all. Namaste. Thank you.